As a consequence of that, debt is now $188 billion lower in the year just finished than what we inherited from those opposite, and that means we are paying something like $60 billion less interest over the course of the next decade or so.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. What did the final budget outcome for the last financial year show about the progress the Albanese Labor government has made on the budget over the 3 years after a decade of budget mismanagement?
Call to the Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I knew that the mighty Broncos were a chance on Sunday when the member for Hunter confidently tipped the Melbourne Storm, Mr Speaker. I thank him for that, and I thank him for the question, because responsible economic management is a defining feature of this Labor government, and you can see that in the final budget outcome which was released just last week. In dollar terms, our government has presided over the biggest ever positive improvement in the budget in a single parliamentary term. In just 3 years, we've overseen a $209 billion improvement in the budget bottom line. We turned 2 very big Liberal deficits into 2 substantial Labor surpluses in our first 2 years, and in our third year we've substantially reduced the deficit as well, so that it's now a fifth of what we inherited from those opposite, around a third of what we forecast before the election. As a consequence of that, debt is now $188 billion lower in the year just finished than what we inherited from those opposite, and that means we are paying something like $60 billion less interest over the course of the next decade or so. Now, we've achieved this outcome because we've found savings, we've shown restraint, we've banked revisions to revenue, we've kept unemployment low, and we've got real wages growing again in our economy. And as a result of our approach and our policy, international ratings agency Standard & Poor's just last week reaffirmed Australia's AAA credit rating. Now, Labor's responsible economic management is in stark contrast to the mess that we inherited from those opposite. They promised to deliver a surplus every single year and only delivered 9 straight deficits. They doubled debt before COVID. They had debt ratcheting up, and they're on track to exceed $1 trillion not too long after the 2022 election. They spent most of the revenue upgrades. They had no savings in their last budget. And I think most damningly, Mr Speaker, they took to the last election a policy of higher taxes, lower wages, bigger deficits and more debt, Mr Speaker. And we've spent 3 years cleaning up the mess that we inherited from them. Now, this government is guided by the national economic interest as we go about making the budget more sustainable. Those opposite are guided by the internal politics of the Liberal Party. And whoever prevails in that unedifying spat between the far right and the even further right on that side of the House, it's already clear. They haven't changed a bit, Mr Speaker. They haven't learned a thing. If anything, they are more divisive and more divided than ever, and they still have no economic credibility whatsoever. Their record in government and now their record in opposition makes that clear.